It is 1956 and the light sports car manufacturer Cisalpina has been resurrected after a huge hit by new safety regulations. The latest model, the Montone, is recognized as a very good light sports car and also a serious contender in the proper sports car market. There's a closed top version, there's an open top sports car version, the one we are seeing right here, currently ripping up the racetracks all over Florinia. And then there's the Cinghiale, a car with a 2-liter V8 and double the power, and huge issues. It's struggling with low grip, it's struggling with low drivability, and it's clear that the platform currently is at its limits. Also, upcoming safety regulations in 1960 will put an end to its lifetime. So this time we will try to fix all of this, create a new car, and put Cisalpina on track for the future. And here we are back in the office and things are running a lot better than last time. We are getting a decent profit. We are back at a decent credit score of B-, and we will need the credit this time to build a new car. And we still have plenty of pre-orders for the Montone to carry us through the development phase of the successor. Markets are looking strong. We are selling about 80 cars per month and we will see how we want to expand. What's interesting is that the supercar market now has expanded to 15 within my visibility. So this might mean that it makes sense to start making a supercar version now that it starts to be viable. But first of all, let's get started with the new car. And because the budgets are looking so juicy, maybe let's start with the supercar. So again, we are looking for a coupe, only a standard body, no mod bodies. And yeah, I already announced that we want to go on to this E-Type like body. We will not use the 2-meter version. I think that will be too nimble. We already have problems steering the car without it being all over the place. So let's take something a bit longer. And in addition to that, I want to have a mid-engined version because we need to put more weight onto the driven wheels so that we finally can properly run the V8. And then what's left is basically this. So here we are back in our shed. Let's see what we can do. What's also new is fiberglass. I hope I will remember at the end when we engineer the car properly to try it out if it actually is better or not, or how much difference there is. But for now I think we are still almost broke, and that means we need to go with solutions that are working for us and that we know and that we can engineer quickly. Also, aluminium will have higher prestige, so maybe it's also the better choice for the supercar, although fiberglass would be lighter and maybe is the technology I want to pursue in the future for a more cheap mass market sports car. Maybe that's the way to go. And now the big update. The previous two cars had a ladder frame. This time we will go for the space frame, and this is motivated by our constant struggles with the safety regulations. We have seen that the ladder frame just doesn't hold up, so space frame is the way to go. Space frame is what we want to do. Obviously for monocoque we would need a medium-sized factory, and yeah, we don't even have a small one, we just have a tiny factory. And then let's try to make this mid-engine. For suspension, it's pretty clear we choose double wishbone all around. Interesting that we don't have any familiarity in the rear. I think so far we only had semi-trailing arms. Yeah, we had semi-trailing arms, we had solid axle leaves, so this is also a new choice for us to get the double wishbone in the rear. We'll mess with quality later. The engine choice will also be interesting, because in 1960 or 1962 we will get the first emissions regulations, and our old engines might not be able to do it. I would like to save the money and not develop a new engine, but let's see what we can do. For now I will choose the old V8 engine, because it never has been in a proper car, except for the one-off Cinghiale. I just put it in there. In the end we will see if it works or not. And then, yeah, I will just quickly finish the rough design. And yeah, interesting and new, the limited slip diff. Very important for us. maybe we finally have a bit of grip. Radials, sports, pretty obvious. I don't want to go for 185s, even though it gives me this option. I think 165 is about the maximum you would get in this era. So let's go with this. In the front we definitely won't need 165s. Alright, for now I'd say let's stick with this. Let's see for the emissions. Yeah, we are completely failing as of now. In 1962 we will have a WES 1, and we maybe even should aim for WES 2 already, or at least be close to WES 2, so that we can achieve that with a facelift. Yeah, but engineering, as I said, will come later. Now let's try to focus on the design. Let's do what's fun first, and then let's do what we will be struggling with later. First of all, let's give it a proper color. Then let's give it proper rims. Thanks also for the tip with the white wall tires. I will now try to adjust the wheel geometry and see if I can make the white walls visible. Maybe something like this. We'll see how it looks in the end. Alright, then let's mold the body and see what we can do. I already can tell that I don't really like the very small cabin here, and I might need to replace the roof if I can get it right. Maybe I also go for this different body. Yep, should be easier to replace then, I hope. Yeah, what's not really working is painting the roof transparent, so it might be a big issue to get this roof off, in case we replace the complete roof shape. So it looks like this one might be easier to do a complete roof replacement. So maybe I try this one first. Right, and now cut away the rest of it. Right. Don't know if this will work here in the rear. Let's see. So there's a new roof mod, or two new roof mods, and we can try to see if we can find something there. Ours is probably in the 1950s section. Yeah, in general I think this one fits really well. I also like this curve here coming down into the door. Just this rear bit will be really hard to work with, because it's such a complex shape. But I can maybe try to disguise this as some kind of an engine air intake. Let's see. But first of all, this roof is two parts. So we have a roof and we have a matching windshield. So we will just clone this one and then switch to the windshield. Yep, looking good. We go here, we see there's a little bit of a gap here. So please don't look too closely. But in general, I really like the shape of this. It can really make something special, I think. But now the problem. Also, I need to fix this thing along the doors. me. But now I run into this issue. I try to align the seams a bit better, but now I run over the seam here for the bonnet. I need to keep it like this. I think it's alright as well. Alright, let's try to cover this hole. Problem is that all of the conforming fixtures don't work. We need to work in 3D and then we get flat fixtures and then they don't fit the very rounded body type here. What I could try to do is to make something like an intake over the whole width of the car. Like this. It's a bit wide, the distance is a bit too much. Yeah, certainly not like this. Need to find something else, probably some kind of body molding part. This one is better. And then I need to cut out the rear window. And now the cutout is jagged. It doesn't look nice. Cannot leave it like this, no. So let's try working with multiple of these pieces. But it might also be that it's the underlying part causing the issue. Yeah, it looks like it's the cover itself. So I need to find another creative solution then, probably lining the edge. Oh, it's looking so bad. Let's try to find something else. Not too shabby for the first try. I think this could work. There's just this little gap in here, but I think I will need to line it out with something else. And I also don't like this shining through. This will be hell for photographs. Yeah, I think that's about as good as it gets, right? Ah, different kind of fixture and it's already a lot better. Yeah, let's work with this and also forget it for a while. Takes away a little bit of the nice line. And now let's work on the proper car. This has been hell enough. And I already have a very good idea for this one, from my point of view. Right, basic face is done. It's a little bit wonky here because of 3D fixtures on bent body molding, but I think it's alright. And now a really nice effect. I have cut away the roundness of the body, but the bumper obviously still conforms to it. So I get this really nice bumper shape in front of this flat nose. Now let's ruin it with a number plate. Yep, it's not optimal anymore. Now for some indicators, and I'd go for these teardrop shaped ones. I think this really looks nice. And we probably need to pick up the seam again. Yep, I'm quite happy with the front. I think it's something quite unique. So let's move on. I don't know who thought this was a good idea here. Why can't we just do it in a straight line? Anyway, I want to mold the sides anyway. Where is it? There it is. So I want to have this nice indentation here. Now you really can see it. We also extend it all the way to here. And then I need to cut away this bit. Layering helps to get it in front and really cut it away. Like this, maybe. Maybe less, a little bit less extreme. I like that. And for the sake of consistency, let's also do that in the rear. And I think now we are really looking like a car company who knows what they are doing. At least we have these kind of special elements, and it doesn't look like it has been slapped together very, very quickly. So yeah, I think we're getting there. Now, of course, we have to fix all of the seams. I cannot get it away completely. Ah, it was probably not colored correctly. That's the way. That's why. Yeah. So what else do we do here? Here in the rear we have a missing seam. Here we cannot use the basic seam, I guess. Somehow I can get it to be downwards on the other side. I don't know why. And we will just use basic cutouts here. So, for the rear, maybe we do the same as in the front and try to cut away a bit of the length here, because I think the rear is also too long for a mid-engine. Also, we need to take a look at the engine at some point where it actually is. Let's do that. Ah, there it is. So maybe we also need to move the engine back a little bit. Now it's there, and we'll actually get some of the air. Then let's go for the rear. There's something really nice I just found out in the Advanced Materials mod. So SHD Grills has this nice slider here for pattern, where you can have different kinds of patterns. And here you also have kind of rotated 45-degree angle one, so this is something I really like. And I think it fits the car just so well. And again ruining it with a number plate, yay. Oh, it would be so much better without the number plate. I don't even know how to properly pipe it. Indicators, we'll need them as well. And now a few more basics before I get to the troublesome parts again. Another downside of using a custom windshield is that the wipers don't align. So again, 3D mode here. So then I was still not happy with the front grille. I had to try another version. And in general, the seams did not really seem appropriate. So I also put them further to the front. And of course, what would be a proper Cisalpina without the rivets? So a few rivets down the side are what's necessary. And then I'm back at the front, still not happy with it, trying different suggestions from the community, and then finally ended up with the oval grille, which worked really nice with this overall shape, but also the 3D placement and the body molding. And then I'm finally lining the air intake, something that took forever. I don't know if I made it a lot better. Definitely the edge is more smooth now, so I'm happy. And what also takes it to the next level is the grille texture there, to protect it from any larger things going inside the engine bay. And then of course interior placement time. A lot of 3D work, which worked out quite well. The only difficulty I faced was that the transmission tunnel didn't want to scale down, so the seats are quite far apart. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, overall I'm still pretty happy with the result, also of the interior. So after a bit of reworking, it's time for the details. Let's also add some brake ventilation. Alright. Then I think the wheel arches need some work, so this one looks a bit weird. And I think I'll leave the rear one as it is. Now time for more love for the interior. Yeah, you can barely see anything here. So it's time to remove the paint. So I was recording, but my recording software threw an error and I didn't recognize it. So I did a few more adjustments to the car, which were not recorded, unfortunately. And these include mostly new door cuts. You cannot see them properly because it's so dark in there. We have our number plate or our badge inside. Let's just go into the car. We have our badge inside here with all the type information. There we also decided for a name of the car, the Nuova Via, which basically just means new road, and this is probably the car that takes us onto a new road to more success. Yeah, we have a shifter in there, steering wheel. I included more venting here in the back, and also a nice badge here with the name of the car. And that's basically it. No other major changes. This is it. I'm pretty happy. I'm very happy with it, to be honest. And yeah, it's time to engineer it now and make it into, hopefully, the first proper supercar of its kind. So, when I noticed that there was an error in recording, I already gave it 3 aero quality to make it a bit quicker. 194 for now, I think is a good top speed. We will make the first gear a little bit longer so that we don't have as much wheel spin. Spread is almost alright. I will maybe make it a little bit longer. Still 7.5 seconds to 100 is pretty good, I guess. With the wheels, I think we need wider front wheels, which will also make the car look less goofy. So 135s are definitely better than 125s. Still quite thin, but it's also just 771 kilograms and most of the weight is in the rear. Wheels are tiny so that they are lighter as well and the car sits lower. Brakes are pretty bad. I need larger brakes. I probably need some brake cooling as well. So let's add that. And then we're better with regards to brake fade. Then we have here in the interior, maybe sport luxury. So the luxury radio is not that much more expensive than the premium one. It just takes longer to build the car. But if it will be a supercar, then I don't worry about production numbers. We just want to extract as much money as possible from our customers. Steering, manual rack and pinion, obviously. And now we can try to get a bit more weight to the front. Even though this takes a long time to engineer. But I think with this setup, we're already pretty good. We can play around a bit more with it once we have basically worked on suspension. And I will do a little bit of weight reduction. Let's try to get it below 775 by removing sway bars. Easily possible. Nicely tuned suspension for drivability. I don't want to go too much into sportiness because I don't want to sacrifice all of the comfort. And things are looking a lot greener already. And we can also remove some ride height to make it even more sporty. What does it look like? Yeah, nice. Still, we have plenty of load capacity for such a car. And we gain a lot of cornering potential. Also, the fast steering graph is understeery. 94.6. Guess we can do some more. Let's take a look at the tires. Yeah, definitely want the sports, I guess. We have a bit more traction now, so we can make first gear a bit shorter again. But it hurts our stats. We can invest a little bit more quality, I guess, into interior. Because this will help a lot with prestige. And just adds a bit of material cost. And not really a lot of production units or engineering. I don't want to go into handmade though, or do I? It definitely gives us a nice boost there, but it also costs a lot and it's so much more heavy. So maybe let's stick to sport. But they are complaining about reliability. Yeah, maybe I should work on the engine a bit as well. Currently we are running into RPM limits, so let's reduce the RPM a bit compared to the prototype. I can use the cast light one, but then I run into... Yeah, the cast one is better for reliability because of the power limit. And we also need to check our emissions. That would be wise. Probably need to reduce my fuel mixture a little bit. Car emissions failed the hydrocarbons by 28% and failed carbon monoxide by 4%, which is alright. We can fix that by leaning it out just a bit and then giving it a bit of quality. Just still 22% over the margin. More carbs will hurt. Less carbs would be better. I don't want to hurt power too much. 18% still. Yeah, here making it more lean doesn't help too much with hydrocarbon. Yeah, it's not optimal. It will cost a lot of engineering if I put more effort into quality here. But I guess I need it. And I have no experience how expensive this will be with emissions fines. The difference here is quite small when it comes to hydrocarbon, only 13%, and I have quite a bit of leeway here on carbon monoxide. Don't know if they cancel each other out or not. But what I also can try is reduce compression, and that makes a huge difference for hydrocarbon. Carbon monoxide goes into the other direction, but I just need to reduce compression a bit, and at some point I will be there. 6% still to go. All green. How much power did I lose? Still making 108. That's alright, I guess. This is looking pretty green. So, yeah, it's not optimal. What I can also do is advance the ignition a bit less, which also helps reliability. And throttle response. It doesn't really hurt power as of now. So, I guess this is what we do. Oh, Yeah, okay, too much retarded is not good. 0 is pretty good for hydrocarbon. And I can spend one more click of fuel. And then we're there. So I will spend the one more quality here, just to be on a good side here. Let's check out our graphs again. Things are looking good. And we still are making proper power. 108 at least. I think we will leave it at this. 108 horsepower for 770 kilogram. If this doesn't scream supercar, then I don't know. Alright. Yeah, we can probably change gearing a bit again. Yeah, a bit shorter is now better. Because we have less power. The rest is still alright. And we're at 102%, which is pretty good. I just need to decide a name for the coupe version again. Should I just call it Berlinetta? Maybe. I don't want to call it the Millimonti again. Millimonti is front-engined. So let me just call it Berlinetta. Alright, this is one of our trims. And the other one will be a convertible version. Maybe this one is the Competizione again. Actually, I don't want to make a race version out of this. This is still a road car. We need to work with the emissions regulations. So we need a different name. Spyder would be one that was often used in Italy for a convertible. So maybe let's just do it. And what I also didn't do, I just recognized I wanted to paint the engine a bit. So maybe let's do that as well. So at least the valve cover should be painted. Should it be in black or should it be yellow? I think I use black. So somehow I have a few performance issues today when recording, and it stopped recording again when I was working on the shape of the convertible. But you didn't miss a lot. It worked pretty smoothly by selecting this one, and the rest was just standard. I placed the cover here, and that's basically it. So you didn't miss anything. And it's time to tune it now. So it's definitely a lot heavier. So that's the downside of space frame versus leather. The leather stuff is just so wonky. The convertible does not weigh any more than the coupe version. In this case, the convertible just adds way too much. Almost 200 kilos, which is, from my point of view, a bit too much. But we cannot change it. So that's the way it is. Because of the high weight, it's pretty understeery. So we could go for wider front tires. And we also need more brake force. Target it as the convertible super. It's very desirable there. Probably because there's not proper competition. I will also leave it at the sport setting here. And will help it to be a bit more understeery. With this we're pretty good. It's not a sporty, definitely not cornering as well. But it should be quite alright. Budget wise, let's see how we could sell them. So in Fuenia they're at 78k. And in the Lure they would be so much more expensive. But we need to make sure that we sell enough of them. So we take the Fuenian prices and reduce them a slight bit, maybe something like 45-50. Let's try that. So still we would sell one of each, which is not a lot, but of course we hope that the markets will grow and this car will take a bit to engineer. And how long is this? Actually, it's feasible, even at this cost. And if it's a proper supercar, we can also waste a bit of money in the production process. So I want to get it done in 4 years, and we can do it quite cheaply by just reducing a few of these sliders, reducing the funding, and then we're properly good. And still we learn along the way, and we don't have huge outliers here. Only chassis is a bit higher. We could spend more otherwise, but yeah, I think we don't need to do that. But I want to check the safety again first. I don't want to miss sales because of safety standards. So the Spyder has 20.3. And what do we need? 20 in... oh no, that's hit VCR. I don't care about hit VCR. 20 in Fuinia and nothing in the Lua. Okay, so the Spyder is fine. Just fine. And the Berlinetta is even more fine. Almost at 21. Yeah, 48. Same for the engine. We can spend a lot more here. For example, make it more reliable. Look at this. It will be expensive to do that. Let's do it like this. 6.8 million is quite a lot. We can build it here in the Manifattura again. 8.7k is alright for a supercar. And yeah, I probably want to produce the Montone a little bit longer and sell it at least in the Lua. So let's get a new shed. And the question is, do we get a small plot for it? But I probably want to do that later on. So I will just build a tiny factory for this one. And we will still build plenty of cars in it. It's the new shed. Maybe you have ideas for better names. I don't have one ready right now. And for the beginning, let's plan with 0.5 to 1 shifts. And plenty of worker quality. Yeah, lots of potential profit, but they calculate with different prices here. And we can still invest a lot into automation to bring up our profit and quality. Doesn't really cost a lot, so it's definitely worth it. At least for the additional quality. Recall percentage is pretty low. 80% definitely is enough. And yeah, we can build 60 cars at 2 shifts, which is more than we need. Then let's try our pricing here. Yeah, doesn't look too good here on paper, but as the market is still growing, I think it could work. Let's see what the bank has to say, because I need their money. Oh, yeah, 96% is plenty. I don't want to take as much. Maybe want 75%. The loan interest rate is very high for this. So I probably have to go back and try to at least make it look like that we can sell more cars. And the easiest way to do that is to reduce the margins and hopefully get more estimated profit. It's higher, it's definitely higher. So with these prices, I should be able to get slightly better conditions. No, I don't. It looks like it's just about the cost versus my company valuation. So can I find a way to bring the costs down? Most of the cost is coming from here. And I think what I can do is to reduce the tooling effort, but increase here process slider. And then we can get to 4 months and reduce our cost here. Also, I can reduce a bit here on the reliability side, but learn a bit more. Still 8 million. Yeah, it doesn't make a big difference. It's probably better to learn a bit. Yeah, it's actually cheaper on the working side to just get it done. 7.6. Maybe we can save a bit more also in the engine. Yeah, 6 million is probably too much. Cannot really get away from that. Can just make it longer, the project. And more focus. Yeah, 5.6. I saved a little bit. So profits are looking a lot better, at least. I can go back to my planned prices of 45 and 50 maybe. Because it doesn't make a difference anyway. We are almost running at half a shift already, and if the markets grow it will be better. So now we get definitely more and definitely a little bit better conditions. To 250k a month, yeah, at 9.7%. So let's calculate. Currently we're making a profit of 300k. That is in 1 year 3.6 million, and in 3 years or in 4 years would be 14.4 million, which is about 75%. Yeah. It will be hard to get this money back or to survive until then, but yeah, we have to do it and we cannot spend a lot of money while doing it. Alright, then we are ready to go. So let's see how the costs develop. Now I get a different number here. I'm still making a profit and I can still play it safe. The company valuation is pretty bad now. So what do we want to do? We need to market more into supercars. Supercars would like to have top speed and also prestige. Can we do something here? It doesn't really get us much, but I will still do it. It's less important in Fuinia, they don't care about prestige as much. So let's try like this. Get spent more in Dalua, they will be more of our most important market soon. Yeah, I need to invest there to grow the market. Okay, let's try this. And then let's take a quick look at R&D. I can definitely pull back a bit of the drivetrain research and save some money there. And take a look at what we want to do actually. So solid disc brakes would be nice to have, but I don't have a new car in engineering very soon. A new heavy car, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Carburetors would be nice for emissions. V6 would actually be really nice for our entry-level car, but I guess we have to stick with inline fours for now. Magnesium rims, semi-clad under tray, nice. But I guess we just need to save money or go into engine architecture, because we will need new engines with more valves to pass the emissions regulations. So this is definitely something I want to do, and also chassis will be important in the future. So let's do one click here as well. And I keep 1 point in drivetrain and wheels. And I think then we are spending plenty of money in research and marketing. Yeah, we're also making a loss now. Probably too much. Yeah, marketing. I need to pull back a bit of marketing. Oh, the 4th click in sporting is so expensive. And let's actually kill our wheel development project. This will also save us 40k. And we're back to a profit again. Very good. So, yeah, interesting. The Cinghiale is collecting pre-orders right now, but we are not producing it. So I pause these pre-orders while we are fulfilling the rest. Oh yeah, nice profits right now. We are selling many cars, so as the markets are growing, it's working pretty nicely. Farm shed is running at 1.8 shifts. Let's increase it to 2 so that we can clear out those pre-orders more quickly, because they are severely limiting our desirability, 45%. So with all of the money we are currently collecting, I am seriously considering that we enter a different kind of racing. Looks like in 1959 there's this open wheeler body, and in 1961 the F1 regulations are actually F2 regulations. That means 1.5 liter engines, and this might be a good opportunity for us to develop a new inline 4 engine for serious production later on, but we can just prototype something in Formula 1, test it, and then bring it to market. And I think it would be a good idea to start with a Formula 2 project. So I need to get this body as soon as possible, and therefore we invest into body research, and we will let it run until then, to then have a good reason to end this episode and of course test the new car, but build a Formula 2 car in the next one. Still no taxes will be paid. Excellent. We just have to be in the negative for the company valuation, and then the taxman is not visiting us. Still making a nice profit. I want to have a little bit of money on the side for harder times. So I'm currently already 3 months ahead of schedule for the car bodies, and this will only increase. We still cannot get rid of our pre-orders. They are stagnating, while we have 1.5 months of stock here of the Montone. The Montone won't sell anymore in Ruinia after 1960 because the safety is too low, but we can still sell it afterwards in Dalua, and we will continue to do that as long as it's profitable. And we're back to positive company valuation, so the taxman will be visiting us next year, I guess. Oh yeah, profits are through the roof. Let us check out our markets here. Demographic sizes. Yeah, we're reaching a healthy amount. We already have access to 4 and 15 in Fuinia and 7 and 10 in Dalua. And this is already the limited numbers because of our awareness. We just have to get our awareness up. We're currently at 13%. Really good. Oh, still no taxes. Why is that? Yeah, I will accept that. Let's take a look here. So we already are 8 months ahead of schedule. There we are. Yeah, there's an open wheeler body now down there, which is excellent. So let's take the Nuova Via to the track. Let's see what it can do. And let's see what we learned and if this new concept really gets us where we want to be. And we're at the starting line with the roaring V8 in our back, a completely different feeling than it was before, and off to a good start. The engine is pushing down on the rear wheels, and we don't have a lot of wheel spin, so it's really pushing nicely. It's a bit on the understeery side until it oversteers, so once the engine is moving in the back, there's almost no way back. But it's controllable. It's just that the initial turn in is a bit slow because of the very thin front tires. But overall, I think it's a good car. It feels controllable, it feels quick, and it feels like the engine has the right size for what the car can actually take. So I wouldn't say there's a huge difference to the 1.1 liter Montone with regards to the feeling, because that one was just so quick in the corners. But definitely once the car gets to stretch its legs on the straights, you feel the additional power of the V8 and that it really pulls along nicely. So on any different kind of track, other than a mountain pass, this would be a far superior car. And I think we don't have to argue about looks. It's on another level compared to the Montone, and definitely one of the icons of its time. Really happy with how this turned out. It also was a lot of work, as you have seen throughout this episode. It took a lot of time to design it. Also, I wanted to get the steering wheel to turn in beam, but somehow I'm incapable of getting this done. We'll give it another try after recording, but so far I was not successful. Alright, and then we are already in the final corners. The timing is still looking promising. I think things are heading in the right direction, and I think we finally have made Lorenzo a little bit more confident in his car building skills. So it only can go forward from here on. I also want to thank you for making the right click and for watching this video until the end. Now that the Nuova Via ends this with 3 minutes 12, 7 seconds quicker than the old Montone. I hope you enjoyed, even though it was a bit longer this time, and yeah, see you all again very soon. Bye bye.